Picture this, it's 3:10 in the morning. You're in deep sleep. Suddenly, movement downstairs. Your heart stops. You hold your breath. 3 shadows. Faces covered. Gloves on. They're not just in your home, they're hunting for one thing, the keys to your car. Your £40,000 Mercedes. Your Range Rover. The vehicle you worked years to afford. Now imagine this, the man leading them has already killed someone. Over a car. He served time for manslaughter and got out early. And he's standing in your hallway. Right now. This is the true story of 5 men who terrorized Kent for 3 months straight. 39 vehicles. 29 homes violated. £750,000 stolen. And one piece of evidence so small, so insignificant, that they never saw it coming. A discarded balaclava. With DNA inside. By the end of this video, you'll see how a convicted killer, his crew of masked thieves, and one of the most brazen crime sprees in Kent's history came crashing down, because criminals always make one fatal mistake. And here's the question that'll haunt you. If you heard glass breaking at 3 a.m., what would you do? Drop your answer in the comments. Because one victim in this case? They confronted the thieves face to face. Ski masks. What happened next will make your blood run cold. Let's dive in. It starts quietly. Almost too quietly. Sutherland Avenue, Welling. A residential street. Families. Working people. Cars parked in driveways. August 8, 2019. Someone breaks into a home. Takes the keys to a Mercedes-Benz. Gone. No confrontation. No witnesses. Just gone. The homeowners wake up the next morning. Their car? Vanished. But that was just the warm-up. August 9, 2019. 3:10 a.m. Merrifields, Strood. Now it escalates. 3 figures. Faces covered. Gloves on. They smash their way into a home in Strood. This time? They take TWO cars. A Mini Cooper and another Mercedes. Plus £50 cash and bank cards. But here's where it gets interesting. A police officer, just doing a routine patrol, spots something unusual. 3 cars. Moving in convoy. Tight formation. Middle of the night. Then, the Mini crashes. The men bail. They scatter. They run toward the M25 motorway, disappearing into the darkness like shadows. The officer searches the wreckage. And there, crumpled on the ground near the crash site, is a grey balaclava. You know what's inside that balaclava? DNA. Skin cells. Sweat. The microscopic biological signature of whoever wore it. The officer bags it. Tags it. Sends it to the lab. The man who wore that mask has no idea, but he just signed his own arrest warrant. His name? Danny Webb. 21 years old. And this is just his first mistake. Over the next few weeks, the burglaries don't stop. They accelerate. August 14th to 15th, Vauxhall Astra stolen from New Ash Green. Later found at Valley Park Traveller site with fake plates. Highfield Road, Chislehurst was broken into. Lower Twiddle Lane, Raynham was hit. Lower Road, Orpington got raided. Bradbourne Vale Road, Sevenoaks. Several vehicles taken. Preston Park, Faversham, got burgled. Battlesmere Road, Cliff. Violated many times. Corkscrew Hill, West Wickham, targeted. Town after town. Night after night. The same modus operandi break-in. Find the keys. Take the car. Vanish. Families waking up to empty driveways. To violated homes. To the sickening realization that strangers had been inside their bedrooms while they slept. But then, something changes. October 3, 2019. Sittingbourne. Middle of the day. A driver pulls over to make a collection. Leaves his silver Ford Ranger running. Mistake. One of the gang jumps in. Drives off. Gone in seconds. Police track it to Hawkins Road. Then Hayden's Close. But by the time they arrive, the ranger's already been stripped or moved again. This isn't just burglary anymore. This is organized crime. A well-oiled machine. And someone's running it. 4 days later. October 7, 2019. Ryland Road, Ashford. The gang breaks in. They're not subtle now. They ransack the place. Searching. Hunting. They find what they came for, keys to a Range Rover Evoque and a VW Golf. Both cars? Combined value? Over £60,000. The homeowners wake up to chaos. Drawers emptied. Rooms torn apart. And 2 vehicles gone. But here's the thing about greed, it makes you sloppy. And these men? They were about to get very sloppy. Because up until now, the gang had been ghosts. Masked. Anonymous. Untouchable. But then they made a mistake that would expose everything. They targeted the wrong house. Quick question before we continue. Have you ever had something stolen from you? A car, a bike, even a phone? How did it feel? Drop a comment and let me know. Because what happens next in this story hits different when you understand the violation these victims felt. And if you're finding this case as gripping as I am, hit that like button. It helps us keep bringing you these deep dives into real crime stories that deserve to be told. Alright. Let's get back to it. Nares Road, Gillingham. Imagine, you hear a crash. Downstairs. Middle of the night. You don't freeze. You don't hide. You go downstairs to confront whoever's in your home. That's exactly what one homeowner in Gillingham did. He comes face to face with 2 men. Ski masks on. They're trying to steal his campervan. And one of them? He doesn't run. He turns. He steps forward. He shouts. Can you imagine that moment? The adrenaline. The fear. The raw aggression. The homeowner doesn't engage. The thieves grab the campervan keys and flee. But this moment? It tells you everything about who these men were. They weren't just thieves. They were confrontational. Aggressive. Willing to intimidate. And one of them had done far worse before. Let me introduce you to the leader of this gang. Michael Johnson. 25 years old. From East Church. In 2017, Michael Johnson was convicted of manslaughter. Here's what happened. Someone tried to stop him from stealing a vehicle. And Michael Johnson killed them. He was sentenced to 5 years and 3 months. But here's the kicker, he was released early. And by August 2019, he was back on the streets. Back to stealing cars. Back to breaking into homes while families slept. 25 burglaries. That's what he admitted to. 25 families violated. 25 homes invaded. And the justice system had let him out early. But the gang's most bizarre and damning move came in Dartford. Chavez Road. They break in. They're after a vehicle. But the homeowner? A woman whose husband is currently serving time in prison. She's alone. Vulnerable. Terrified. The gang gets spooked. They flee. But here's where it gets weird. While awaiting trial, locked up on remand, 2 members of the gang call her. From prison. Ricky Webb and Oliver Cook. They phone her to apologize. They wanted to reassure her that they were only after the vehicle. Not the house. Not her. Let that sink in. They thought calling their victim from prison would make it better. Instead, they just created evidence. Recorded phone lines and documented contact. Proof of guilt. Absolute criminal stupidity. Remember that balaclava from the Strood crash? The one with Danny Webb's DNA? It wasn't the only evidence. The crashed Mercedes in Orpington? Forensic examiners found DNA inside. Ricky Webb's DNA. 2 brothers. 2 pieces of forensic evidence, both tied directly to vehicles used in the burglaries. Add that to the police sighting of the convoy, the phone calls from prison, the stolen vehicles found at the traveler site, the pattern of break-ins across identical timeframes. The net was closing. February 17, 2020. Kent police moved in. Ricky Webb. Arrested. Danny Webb. Arrested. Oliver Cook. Arrested. Michael Johnson and Alfie Johnson, already facing charges for related burglaries, were added to the case. 5 men. 39 stolen vehicles. 29 burglaries. £750,000 plus in stolen property. All of them remanded, awaiting trial. And every single one of them about to face justice. So here's what we know so far: a violent repeat offender, a crew of masked thieves, dozens of violated homes, and forensic evidence tying them to the crimes. But here's what you don't know yet. What the judge said when he sentenced them. The courtroom outburst that shocked everyone. And the sentences that totaled 30 years in prison. Real quick, if you're the kind of person who loves deep dives into cases like this, where we don't just skim the surface but actually dig into the evidence, the psychology, the timeline, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we've got more cases coming that'll keep you up at night. Alright, let's get to the sentencing. October 27, 2020. Maidstone Crown Court. 5 men stand before Judge David Griffith Jones QC. The evidence? Overwhelming. The victims? Dozens. The prosecutor, Danny Moore, lays it out. 39 vehicles. 29 burglaries. Over £750,000 stolen. But it's not just about the money. It's about the violation. The fear. The trauma of knowing strangers were in your home while you slept. Judge Griffith Jones doesn't mince words. This was an organized, professional enterprise. You targeted houses at night. You used vehicles stolen from previous offenses. You wore masks. You ransacked homes. And on at least one occasion, you threatened an occupier. Burglary is a vile and immoral offense. Some of your victims face significant distress because of the crimes you committed against them. Then came the sentences. Michael Johnson, the convicted killer, the repeat offender, the man involved in 25 burglaries. Sentence, 84 months. 7 years. And his reaction? He launched into a tirade of abuse in the courtroom. Shouting, cursing, had to be dragged out by guards. Even in the face of justice, he showed zero remorse. Ricky Webb. DNA found in the crashed Mercedes. Admitted to 18 burglaries. On prison license for previous offenses when he committed these crimes. His child was born while he was on remand. Sentence, 81 months. 6 years, 9 months. Danny Webb. The balaclava with his DNA. Admitted to 21 burglaries. Suffered from panic attacks and a mild learning difficulty. Sentence, 77 months. 6 years, 5 months. Alfie Johnson. Involved in 15 thefts. Quit the gang before the end. Father of 1. Expressed shame for letting down his family. Sentence, 63 months. 5 years, 3 months. With 108 days already served on curfew credited. Oliver Cook. The youngest in terms of involvement. Admitted to 5 burglaries and attempted burglaries. Father of a child born recently. Sentence, 45 months. 3 years, 9 months. The judge told him, "You joined this group, if only for one night, but you have badly let down the mother of your child." Before closing, Judge Griffith Jones turned to the investigating officer. Detective Constable Nicola Emery. Excellent work. Because here's the reality. Without her diligence, tracking the forensics, Connecting the dots, building the case piece by piece, these men might still be out there. Still breaking into homes. Still stealing. Still terrorizing families. Let's add it up. Michael Johnson, 7 years. Ricky Webb, 6 years, 9 months. Danny Webb, 6 years, 5 months. Alfie Johnson, 5 years, 3 months. Oliver Cook, 3 years, 9 months. Total, 30 years of prison time. For what? For cars. For greed. For the thrill of breaking into someone's home and taking what wasn't theirs. Was it worth it? But here's the question that haunts me. How many families are still dealing with the trauma? The sleepless nights. The anxiety every time they hear a noise. The violated sense of safety in their own homes. Because here's the truth about crime, the sentence ends. But the trauma? That can last a lifetime. And there's one more twist to this story. Something the Facebook post suggests. Something that makes you wonder if the justice system really works. According to unverified social media posts, Michael Johnson, the manslaughter convict, the ringleader, has reportedly been recalled to prison. That means parole violation. Breaking the terms of his release. Back behind bars. I can't confirm that through court records. But if it's true, it tells you everything. Some people don't change. Some people don't want to. Let's talk about the psychology here. Michael Johnson had already killed someone over a car theft. He served time. Got out early. And immediately went back to the same behavior. Why? Is it addiction? The thrill? The easy money? Or is it something deeper? A lack of options, a broken system, a cycle of crime that's almost impossible to escape? I don't have the answer. But I do know this. Every single one of these men had a choice. And they chose to violate families. To steal. To threaten. To traumatize. We talk a lot about the criminals in these stories. But what about the victims? The woman in Dartford whose home was targeted while her husband was in prison. The homeowner in Gillingham who faced down masked men in his own hallway. The families in Welling, Strood, Ashford, Sevenoaks, dozens of them, who had to walk through their violated homes, knowing strangers had been inside. That's the real cost of crime. Not just the monetary loss. The emotional toll. Let's circle back to where this all began. A grey balaclava. Discarded near a crash site. Danny Webb probably never thought twice about it. Just a piece of cloth. Left behind in the chaos. But inside that cloth? His DNA. His skin cells. His biological signature. And that one piece of evidence unraveled the entire operation. That's the thing about crime, you can plan. You can wear masks. You can move in convoys. You can be professional. But all it takes is one mistake. One oversight. One moment of carelessness. And it all comes crashing down. So here's my question for you. If you were one of the victims in this case, if your home was broken into, your car stolen, your sense of safety shattered, do you think 30 years combined is enough? Or should they have gotten more? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear what you think. Because justice is complicated. And sometimes, the sentences don't match the damage done. This is the story of the Kent car theft gang. 5 men. 39 stolen vehicles. 29 homes violated. 3 months of terror across Kent. And in the end? They all fell because of a single balaclava with DNA inside. Crime doesn't pay. It never does. Because no matter how careful you are, no matter how professional you think you are, you'll make a mistake. And when you do, justice will find you. If this deep dive kept you hooked, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this video to more people who love true crime breakdowns like this. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a case. We've got more stories coming. Stories that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about crime and justice. And drop a comment. Tell me, what surprised you most about this case? Do you think the sentences were fair? Have you ever had something stolen? How did it affect you? I read every single comment. And your engagement helps us keep making these videos. Until next time, stay safe. Lock your doors. And remember, the smallest piece of evidence can bring down the biggest criminals.